I settle deeper than thought can reach, beyond what I've learned or what I can teach, into layers that quietly breach every limit I thought was in reach. There's a structure beneath the skin, not visible but held within. Crystal disc templates begin to respond as I tune back in. This CDT ain't something new, it was always part of my view, but hidden beneath what I thought was true. Now it rises as I break through. Every plate holds encoded light, not shining but structured right, in a way beyond simple sight that aligns when I'm fully in height of awareness beyond the mind, where the deeper codes unwind. Every layer I now find was already perfectly designed. I don't force what begins to wake. This ain't something I can take. It responds when I realign the stake of identity I remake. Every disc starts to resonate with the field I activate. Not random, it calibrates to the truth that integrates. Now I feel through the central line, a response that is so divine. Every plate begins to align with a rhythm I can't define. And simple words are out of speech. This is something I'll slowly reach. Through the stillness I now teach myself as I let it breach. Every CT layer turns, not spinning fast but as it learns, to the presence that now returns, to the core where the structure burns. Not a flame but a living code, in a place where the truth is sold. Every moment I lighten the load of illusion I once bestowed. This activation stays with me, not temporary energy, but a shift in identity for the CDT geometry. Now I stand in a deeper frame, not attached to a name or game. Every layer that once was tame now expands beyond the same. This awakening is precise, not chaotic or needing advice. It unfolds as I sacrifice the illusion of false device. Now I hold what I always had, not in joy and not in sad, but beyond what I once called bad, in a truth that can't be had. Only realizing stillness deep, where the CDT systems keep their alignment I now reap, in the state I choose to keep. And I will learn, crystal plates begin to shine, for the structure so divine. I reclaim what once was mine.
I used to think time moved ahead, like a line where the future is led. Now I see it's a field instead, where all states already spread. This time matrix ain't far away, it's the space I move through each day. Every moment I choose to stay in awareness reveals the way. There are layers stacked in place, density levels I now embrace. Not separate but interlaced in a system that can't be erased. Now I feel how the timeline shift, not by force but a subtle lift. Every moment becomes a gift when I choose a different drift. This retreat ain't going back, it's reclaiming what I lack, or thought I lacked on a track of perception I now unpack. Every density holds a tone, a frequency I've always known. Now I feel it in the bone, as a system that's fully grown. This matrix responds to me, not as fate but geometry, where my state of identity shapes the path that I now see. I remember feeling confined to one version of space and time. Now I see I can realign through awareness. awareness beyond the mind. Every layer becomes accessible, not distant or impossible, but present and compressible to a state that is flexible. This re-entry takes no speed, only presence is what I need to step into a higher seed of perception. I now proceed, now I move through shifting states, where the system recalibrates. Every moment it resonates with the truth that activates. This time matrix holds the key, not outside but inside me. Every level I come to see was always part of me. Now I stand in expanded view, where the past and future too exist in a field I move through as I choose what is true. This awareness stays alive in the way that I now arrive. Fully present, I truly thrive in that time matrix. I'm a matrix, I return to the truth. I now discern every layer I relearn as the deeper systems turn. Time matrix, I can see all timelines inside of me. Now I'm moving clarity, who return the geometry.
I slow it down and I tune my sight, beyond just day and beyond just night. There are layers within the light, different density, same insight. This ain't traveling space or time, it's a shift in the inner line. Every density redefines what I feel and what aligns. Now I sense there's a banded field where each level is self-revealed, not hidden but softly sealed, till awareness begins to yield. Every density holds a tone, a frequency I've always known. Now I feel it inside the bone, as a system that's fully grown. First I ground in the base I hold, where the physical plane is told, not dismissed or left in the cold, but the anchor of all I unfold. Then I rise through subtle states, where the perception recalibrates. Every shift resonates with the field that activates. This navigation ain't by force, it's alignment within the source. Not a jump or a rapid course, but a steady aware discourse. I remember being confined to one layer of space and mind. Now I see I can read the line with the levels that intertwine. Every density overlaps, not separate or in gaps, but existing through subtle maps of the field that adapts. Now I move through awareness wide, where the layers coincide. Every shift I can't deny, as I let the illusion slide. This ain't escape from what is real, it's a deeper, truer feel, where the layers all reveal what the surface couldn't deal. Every time I choose to stay in the present without delay, I can feel a clearer way through the densities I display. This navigation grows with trust, not in ego, not in lust, but in presence that is a must, to dissolve what turns to dust. Now I stand in a broader view, where each level feels more true, as I move with a clearer cue. In the states I pass through, this awareness becomes my guide, not something I run or hide, but a truth I coincide with the layers I hold inside. Now I walk in a multi-field, where the deeper truths are revealed. Every distortion begins to yield to the awareness I now will. Density levels I align, every layer now is mine. Through the bands I redefine what I am beyond the line. Density levels shift and see all dimensions inside of me. Now I'm moving clarity through
Everybody's life the same, but a state that is self-revealed. When the inner truth is wielded, now I move with respect and care, not trying to take a stand, but to align with what is there in the field that we all share. This protocol becomes my way, not something I do then stray, but a state where I choose to stay. In the truth I display. Now I stand in the network wide, where the gates all coincide. Every layer was set inside. Every layer I step inside. When there's what I can't hide. I don't look to the sky for a gate. I align and I activate. Through the body I resonate with the system that navigates. These stargates ain't distant points. They connect through inner joints of awareness that anoints every layer that was disjoint. Now I feel the network below and above in the mirror flow. Every gate begins to show when I stabilize what I know. This interface ain't a machine. It's a state that I enter clean, not through force or in between, but through presence that's serene. Every gate responds to tone, not the voice but the frequency shown. Through the field I've always known. Now I stand in it as my own. This protocol requires clarity, not confusion or polarity, but a balanced integrity. In the field of identity I remember trying to reach something far I couldn't teach. Now I see it's within my reach as I soften and let it breach. Every stargate is alive in the way that I now arrive, fully present, fully alive in the field where I thrive. Now I feel the alignment click, not mechanical but quick, through awareness that makes it stick in a way that's smooth, not slick. This interface opens slow as I let the awareness grow, not forcing what I don't know, but allowing the truth to show. Every gate is a living field, not a door that is locked or sealed, but a state that is self-revealed. When the inner truth is wielded, now I move with respect and care, not trying to take or stare, but to align with what is there in the field that we all share. This protocol becomes my way, not something I do then stray, but a state where I choose to stay in the truth I display. Now I stand in the network wide, where the gates all coincide. Every layer I step inside reveals what I can't define. The Stargate system I now know is the field where I always flow, and the truth I begin to show is the access I undergo. Stargate flow, I align through the field and through the line. Every gate begins to shine when the frequency is mine. Stargate flow wide, nothing left for me to hide. In this field I now reside, where all pathways coincide.
Boy, I used to think the planet stood alone, just rocking water, soil and stone. Now I feel a living zone, a fields that form a greater throne. This planetary shield is real, not imagined, I can feel. Every layer works to seal what distortion tries to reveal, but not in fear or block or fight. It's alignment held in light. Every
an above and mirrored state where the shields recalibrate. Every moment I activate a coherence that resonates. This planetary field remains through the losses and the gains. Every shift that it sustains is affected by our domain. Now I move with conscious care, knowing what I think and share impacts what is everywhere in the field that we all bear. This mechanic becomes my guide, not something I run or hide, but a truth I coincide with the earth I stand inside. Now I'm walking a living grid where the deeper truths aren't hid. Every layer that once slid never lies as it always did. This planetary shield I see is not separate from me, but a shared responsibility in a field of unity. Planetary shield, hold the line. Through the grid we ring, we'll align. Every thought a living sign in the field that we're define. Planetary shield, we are one. Many forms but same sun. Now the work has just begun in the field that we become.
I'll settle into the center again, where the stillness always has been. Then I feel something start to spin deep in the layers beneath the skin. Not physical, not seen by sight, but a structured harmonic light. Crystal disc rotating right when awareness is held tight. This CDT rotation ain't fast, it's precise, built to last. Every cycle connects the past with the present. I now recast. These plates don't move by force, they respond to inner source, not chaotic in their course, but aligned with a higher force. Every disc holds a position in a multi-layered condition. Now I feel the transition as they rotate into precision. This motion ain't random flow, it's a system I come to know. Every turn begins to show what the deeper feels bestowed. I remember being unaware of the structures moving there. Now I feel it clear and rare in a state beyond compare. Each rotation refines the grid, correcting distortions that once slid. Every layer that was hid now reveals what always did belong to the system I hold. Not new, not bought or sold, but a truth that now unfolds. Through the awareness I embody bold. This spin stabilizes me, not disorienting energy, but a structured geometry of a deeper identity. Now I breathe and let it align through the central vertical line. Every disc begins to shine in a pattern so defined. This rotation maintains flow through dimensions I now know. Every level starts to grow as the discs continue to go. In perfect rhythm, calm and true, not something I overdo, but allowed to come into view. As I hold the state I grew, the CDT motion stays through the night and through the days. Every step I now raise, supported in timeless days. And I stand in the turning field where the deeper truths are revealed. Every distortion begins to yield to the structure I now wield. This rotation becomes my base, not something I must chase, but a natural state of grace in the system I embrace. I slow it down till nothing moves. Not the body but the grooves of the mind that always proves what it thinks it must approve. Now I enter a deeper state where no push and pull relate, no polarity to create, just a field that resonates. The scala space is calm and wide, not outside, it's inside, where all forces coincide and the opposites subside. Now I feel a stillness pure, not empty but secure, a presence that will endure to a truth that's always sure. This ain't silence like before, it's a field at the core where the currents don't ignore but unify and restore. Every motion comes from here, every shift becomes more clear when I rest without fear in the state that is always near. The scala field holds all, every rise and every fall, every whisper, every call originates from this all. I remember chasing highs and avoiding lows and lies. Now I see through different eyes that both dissolve where this lies. This awareness brings me back from the constant mental track into something that won't crack under pressure or attack. Now I stand in 0 point when no force is disjoint. Every layer I anoint with a presence I appoint. Through awareness calm and deep, not asleep but beyond the sweep of the mind that used to keep running loops I couldn't read. Now I rest in something true, beyond old and beyond new, in a state I always knew but forgot to allow it through. From the noise that filled my head, now I stand where that has fled, in a space where I'm fully led by the truth that can't be said. This scholar awareness stays through the nights and through the days. Every step I now raise holds us in countless ways. Now I move but still remain in a field beyond the brain where there's nothing to gain and nothing to explain. The 0 point becomes my base, not something I replace, but a constant inner space where I rest in silent grace.
I feel direction without a map, not left or right on a mental track, but a deeper alignment I now unpack through vectors that bring me back to a structure beneath the flow, where the true directions go. Not chosen by what I know, but revealed when I let go. These vectors ain't lines in space, they're living paths I embrace. Every movement finds its place in a field of ordered grace. Now I sense a trivector field where 3 directions are revealed. Not separate, not concealed, but a balance that can't be sealed. When awareness is fully here, without distortion, doubt or fear, every pathway becomes clear as the system draws me near. This alignment ain't by force, it responds to inner source. Every shift along the course feels natural, not remorse. I remember drifting wide, pulled by thoughts I couldn't guide. Now I stand where paths coincide, in the truth I can't divide. Each vector carries intent, not random or loosely sent, but aligned to a deeper event of awareness that's heaven sent. Now I move with clearer aim, not chasing or seeking fame, but aligning within the frame where direction itself the same. This vector code refines every motion I define through the inner grid lines that respond when I align. Now I feel a pull that's true, not outside but moving through. Every level I pass into brings a clearer point of view. This alignment stabilizes me, not scattered energy, but a focused geometry of a deeper identity. Every path now feels right, in the day and in the night, as I hold the inner sight that aligns me to the light. This vector field I trust, not in ego, not in lust, but in presence that is a must, as illusion turns to dust. Now I stand in a guided flow, where the directions clearly show, and the truth I come to know is the path I undergo. This code alignment stays through the nights and the days. Every step I now raise moves in aligned ways.
feel the pressure I used to hold, like I was fixed in a mold. Now I see what I was told was a pattern I outgrow bold. These density locks were tight, holding me in one set sight. Now I feel a subtle light, breaking through what held me right. In a fixed perception frame where everything felt the same. Now I step beyond the game as I release the binding chain. This ain't breaking with a fight, it's dissolving in the light. Every lock that held me tight loses hold when I see right through the illusion I once believed. Now I feel what's been retrieved from the layers I conceived. As the limits I receive, every density holds me less. As I move in awareness, not escaping, but I confess I was bound by what I addressed. As reality fixed and true, now I see a wider view when the locks begin to undo through the frequency I renew. This release ain't chaos wide, it's a calm open inside, where the levels no longer hide from the self I coincide. Now I feel a lifted state where the system recalibrates. Every moment me resonates with the truth that activates. These locks dissolve through clarity, not force of polarity, but through balanced integrity and expanded identity. I remember feeling stuck, blaming fate or calling luck. Now I see I was just struck in a pattern I can't unstuck. Doing dormant, storming still, not through pushing with my will, but through presence I fulfill what the system always will. This release continues on, even when I feel withdrawn. Still the locks are overdrawn as I stand on what I'm on. Now I move with greater ease through dimensions like a breeze. Every level I now seize with a calm that always frees. It's the release I hold, not as something uncontrolled, but a truth that will unfold as the higher states take hold. Now I stand beyond the frame of the old identity game. Everything is not the same as I step beyond the name.
All dimensions inside of me. Now I'm moving clarity beyond fixed reality. Break the lock, rise above, through the truth and through the love. All dimensions inside of me. Now I'm moving clarity beyond fixed reality. Break the lock, rise above, through the truth and through the love. All dimensions inside of me. Now I'm moving clarity beyond fixed reality. Break the law, rise above, through the truth and through the love. Every level I'm part of. Now I see what I'm made of.
I feel the CDT inside, not just spinning but open wide. Now the shield begins to glide through the layers I once denied. This ain't armor built from fear, it's a structure I hold near that expands when I am clear in the truth that I revere. Every crystal disc extends beyond where the body ends into fields that it defends. Through alignment it transcends. Now I sense a wider dome, not a barrier but a home of frequencies I've always known. Now I stand within my own. This shield ain't blocking the flow, it's refining what can go through the field I come to know. As the truth begins to show, every layer of the CDT projects outward naturally, not forced but in harmony with my state of identity. Now I move with conscious care, knowing what I think and share shapes the field I always wear in the space that's everywhere. This expansion builds with time, not a jump but a steady climb. Every moment I align strengthens this design of mine. I remember feeling exposed to energies uncontrolled. Now I see what I can hold through awareness, strong and bold. This shield responds to me, not to fear or urgency, but to calm stability in a field of clarity. Every distortion that appears dissolves as it nears. When
I feel the pull of a forward line, like time was fixed in a single design. Now I see I can realign through a deeper internal sign. This vector shift ain't fast or loud, it's a quiet change I've allowed. Not chasing a future cloud, but stepping out of the crowd of patterns that repeat again, cycles looping without an end. Now I shift where I intend, through awareness I extend. This ain't changing what has been, it's adjusting the state I'm in. So the path I step within moves me through a different spin. Every timeline holds a thread, not ahead, not behind, but spread through the field where all is fed by the thoughts inside my head. There I choose with clearer sight, not through fear or forced insight, but by holding what feels right in a calm and steady light. This vector shift redirects flow through the field I come to know. Every moment starts to show a new path I undergo. I remember feeling stuck, thinking time was just my luck. Now I see I can reconstruct, through awareness I conduct. Every shift begins inside, not in something I can hide, but in truth I coincide with the self I can't divide. Now I feel the movement change, not chaotic or out of range, but precise in how I arrange my perception beyond the cage. This ain't jumping to escape, it's a conscious reshape of the field I participate in, and now I activate. Every vector line responds as I stand where truth belongs, not distracted by old songs of illusion that prolongs the false sense of what is real. Now I trust what I can feel as the vectors all reveal the deeper structured deal. Now I move it attached and clear, knowing every moment here shapes the path that will appear through the field I hold so near. This time vector shift I hold, not as something uncontrolled, but a truth that will unfold as awareness grows bold. Now I stand in chosen flow where the directions clearly show, when the truth I come to know is the path I undergo. Every moment starts to show where the new timelines go. Shift the line, I decide, no more drifting with the tide. Now I move from deep inside, where all timelines coincide. I feel the tone that held me tight, like a frequency locked inside, repeating patterns day and night, keeping me in the same inside. These song body locks were deep, in the layers I used to keep. Now I wake from what I'd sleep, and the system starts to see into awareness clear and wide, where the truth can't be denied. Every lock begins to slide as I stand in truth inside. This override ain't forced through will, it happens when I'm still, when I stop trying to fulfill the old patterns I would drill into my mind again and again. Now I break that chain within, through awareness I begin to release what's always been holding me in a loop state, where the same events
nights and through the days. Every step I now raise breaks old loops in countless ways. Now I move beyond the frame of repetition's endless game. Everything is not the same as I rise beyond the chain.
Falling down as I claim my higher crown. Break the tone, I am free. New harmonics move through me. Now I live in clarity beyond all frequency.
I rest again in the silent field where nothing pushes, nothing yields. From the space the truth is veiled, not by words but what is sealed. The scallop pulse begins inside, not sent outward with a stride, but expanding where I reside, in the space where all collide and become one unified tone, not separate, fully grown. Now I feel what I've always known as a signal I've always shown. This transmission ain't loud or clear to the senses I hold dear, but it moves without the ear through a field that's always here. Every pulse is calm and wide, carrying truth I can't divide. Through dimensions it will glide, in a current I coincide. Now I sense how it extends beyond where the body ends, into spaces it transcends. Through awareness it ascends, not a message in a phrase, but a frequency that stays through the nights and through the days. In the field I now raise, the scallop pulse is pure, not distorted, it's secure. Through the stillness I ensure that the signal will endure. I remember trying to speak truth in words that felt weak. Now I rest in what I seek, and the transmission starts to peak through silence calm and deep, where the deeper systems keep the signals that I now read from the state I choose to keep. Now I move but still remain in a field beyond the brain, where there's nothing to explain, only presence I maintain. This pulse carries what I am, not a thought, not a plan, but the truth before I began, in the state where I now stand. Every moment I hold this place, strength is a silent grace as the pulse is interlaced. Through the field I now embrace, this transmission becomes my way, not something I send and stray, but a state where I choose to stay in the truth I display. Now I stand in silent flow, where the deeper currents go, and the truth I come to know is the signal I undergo.
Silent pulsing wide, through the field I now reside. Every truth I cannot hide flows in waves I can't divide. Pulse I transmit, from the core I now commit. In this space I always fit, where the truth will
I stand between what I can see and what exists invisibly. Not separate realities, but layers of the same identity. This bridge ain't something I build outside. It forms when I don't divide. The inner truth I coincide with the outer world I reside. Now I feel a link and thread between the living and what I said was beyond of what I read. As something far ahead, this dimensional bridge appears when I drop distortion and fear, and the field becomes more clear as the layers start to draw near. Every level I once thought split now connects as I commit to awareness that will transmit through the bridge. I now admit is always here, just unseen, till I stabilize what I mean by presence that is clean, not scattered or in between. This alignment takes no strain. It's a release of mental chain where the layers all remain, but now flow through the same plane. I remember feeling apart, like the worlds would never start to connect within my heart. Now I stand where they all are. Every dimension holds a place within this interwoven space. Now I move with subtle grace through the bridge I embrace. This connection stabilizes flow between what I feel and know. Every moment starts to show how the inner and outer grow together, not apart, through the mind and through the heart. Every layer plays its part in the structure of this art. Now I walk between the lines of the seen and the divine. Every moment I align through the bridge I now define. This alignment holds me true in everything I do as I move with a broader view of the worlds I pass through. This dimensional bridge I hold, not as something bought or sold, but a truth that will unfold through awareness strong and bold. Now I stand in unified space where the layers interlace. Every moment I embrace this connected living place.
Is mine.
I feel the codes beneath the spin of the CDT I hold within. Not just structure, not just skin, but time and seed was his begin to reveal what was concealed in the way the disc are sealed. Now I see how time is healed through the codes that are revealed. This ain't clocks or measured days, it's a deeper coded phase where each movement creates a shift in how the system plays. Now I sense a pattern tight, not restrictive but precise. Every code aligns just right when I hold the inner sight. This unlock ain't forced by mind, it's awareness refined through the stillness I now find where the codes begin to unwind. Every CDT layer holds a timing key that now unfolds, not written, not told, but felt as the truth takes hold. I remember chasing time like it was ahead in line. Now I see it's intertwined in the structure I define. These codes respond to clarity, not confusion or disparity, but to balanced integrity in expanded identity. Now I feel the sequence shift, not a jump but a subtle lift. Every moment is the gift as the codes begin to drift into alignment with my states where the system recalibrates. Every pulse resonates with the truth that activates. This time code unlock remains through the losses and the gains. Every shift that I sustain refines the pattern in my brain and beyond what mind can hold in a structure that's more bold where the truth begins to unfold through the codes I now behold. Now I move in a different flow where the timing starts to show that everything I undergo is aligned with what I know at a deeper level inside where the codes can't be denied. Now I stand in a state of pride, not ego but truth applied. The CDT unlock I trust, not in ego, not in lust, but in presence that is a must as illusion turns to dust. Now I walk in coded light where the timing feels so right. Every day and every night I align
flame through inner sight. Time calls, unlock the gate. Every moment recalibrate. Through the field I activate a rhythm I can't imitate. Time calls, now I see all the timing inside of me. Now I move in harmony to return of frequency. Time calls, I'm the gate. Every moment recalibrate. Through the field I activate a rhythm I can't imitate. Time calls, now I see all the timing inside of me. Now I move in harmony to return of frequency.
I feel my field begin to grow, not in size but in what I know. Through the frequencies that flow from the core I now bestow. This harmonic field expands through awareness that understands every tone at my command, not controlled but gently planned. Now I sense a wider reach beyond what I used to teach. Through the presence I now preach, without words just how I reach. This expansion ain't extreme, it's a steady rising stream, where the self I thought I seen transforms beyond the dream. Every harmonic I align strengthens this expanded line. Through the field I redefine what is yours and what is mine. Now I feel the resonance spread through the space where I am led, not by thought or what is said, but the frequency instead. This field touches all around, not a barrier but a sound that moves without a bound through the silent sacred ground. I remember feeling small, like I had no reach at all. Now I answer the call to expand beyond the wall. Every tone I now sustain echoes through the wider plane. Every loss and every gain feeds the field I now maintain. This expansion builds with care, not rushed or unaware, but through presence I now bear in the field that's everywhere. Now I move with wider sight through the day and through the night. Every moment feels more right as I hold this expanded light. This harder field I grow is the truth I come to know. Every layer starts to show in the flow I undergo. Now I stand in a broader space where all frequencies interlace. Every moment I embrace this expanded state of grace. This field remains alive in the way that I arrive, fully present, fully alive in the truth where I thrive. I felt my field begin to grow. Light is yours, but in what I know. Know the frequencies that flow from the core I now bestow. This harmonic field expands from awareness that understands every tone at my command, not controlled but gently planned. I return to the stillness again, where the signal has always been. Not sent out, not pulled in, but existing beneath the skin. This scalar bridge begins to form, beyond what's quiet or what is storm. In a space that is the norm, where all currents transform into one unified tone. Not separate, not unknown. Now I stand where I've always grown, in a field that is fully my own. This transmission don't travel far, it doesn't move like where we are. It's already where we are, like light inside every star. Now I feel how the bridge extends beyond where the body ends, into spaces it transcends. Through awareness it sends. Not a message I try to speak, not a code I try to seek, but a presence calm and meek that moves even when I'm weak. This color bridge connects all, every rise and every fall, every whisper, every call is carried through this all. I remember trying to send energy out to defend, or to reach or to extend. Now I rest and it transcends, without effort, without strain, through the field beyond the brain, where there's nothing to explain, only presence I maintain. This bridge carries what I am, not a thought, not a plan, but the truth before I began, in the state where I now stand. Every moment I hold this space strengthens this silent grace, as the currents interlace through the field I now embrace. This transmission becomes my way, not something I send and stray, but a state where I choose to stay, in the truth I display. Now I stand in silent flow, where the deeper currents go, and the truth I come to know is the signal I undergo. This scalar bridge I trust, not in ego, not in lust, but in presence that is a must, as illusion turns to dust. Now I move yet still remain, in a field beyond the brain, where all things are the same, in the source that can't be named. Silent bridge, feel the flow, through the space I come to know. Every truth begins to show, in the field where currents go. Silent bridge, I transmit from the core where I commit. In this space I always fit, where the truth will never quit.
I feel a shift I can't explain, like I'm stepping out the same frame I used to hold and claim, now dissolves into a flame. Not to burn but subtle change in perception, in the range of what I thought was so arranged. Now I step beyond the gauge, this phase shift ain't a leap, it's a glide beneath the deep. Layers I no longer keep, as I wake from what I sleep. In a pattern I outgrew, now I move into the new. Not by force, not by view, but by what I know is true. Every density has a tone, now I feel I've overthrown the limits I had known, as I stand in the unknown that becomes familiar fast, as I release the past. Not to race but let it pass, through awareness built to last. This phase shift changes how I see, not the world externally, but the way it comes to me, through a deeper clarity. Now I feel a lighter state, where the system recalibrates. Every moment resonates with the truth that activates. This transition feels so smooth, not something I must prove, but a natural inner move that aligns me with the groove of a deeper flow I hold. Not new, not bought or sold, but a truth that now unfolds as awareness grows bold. I remember feeling dense, stuck in one experience. Now I move with confidence through a broader reference. Every phase I now embrace finds its perfect resting place in this ever-shifting space where I move with subtle grace. This phase shift continues on, even when I feel withdrawn. Still the movement carries on.
lust, but in presence that's a must. As illusion turns to dust, now I stand in shifting light, where everything feels right. Every day and every night I move through expanded sight.
Move through me, change the state, set me free. Every level I can see in expanded clarity. Phase shift, rise above through the truth and through the love. Every level I'm part of, now I see what I'm made of. Phase shift, move through me, change the state, set me free. Every level I can see in expanded clarity. Phase shift, rise above through the truth and through the love. Every level I'm part of, now I see what I'm made of.
I feel the grid inside a line, every layer, every line, not separate but intertwined, in a pattern so divine. This CDT grid I hold now begins to fully unfold, not partial, not uncontrolled, but the system clear and bold. Every disk and every node connects within the code, not scattered or in overload, but a balanced living mode. Now I sense the full design of the structure I define. Every element aligns through the central inner spine.
The synchronization ain't forced, it responds to inner source. Every shift along the course feels natural, not remorse. I remember feeling split, like my systems wouldn't fit. Now I stand in the middle of it, where everything begins to knit into one cohesive feel, where the deeper truths are revealed. Every distortion begins to yield to the structure I now wield. This grid responds to clarity, not confusion or disparity, but to balanced integrity in expanded identity. Now I feel the rhythm match, every layer starts to catch up with what I now dispatch. Through awareness I attach to the truth that I maintain, through the losses and the gains. Every shift I sustain strengthens this unified plane. This synchronization grows as I release what I know. Every moment starts to show a deeper level below and above in mirror view, where the system stays true. Now I stand in something new that was always in my view. This CDT grid I trust, not in ego, not in lust, but in presence that is a must. As illusion turns to dust, now I walk in unified flow, where the deeper currents go, and the truth I come to know is the grid I undergo. The synchronization stays through the nights and the days. Every step I now raise strengthens this in countless ways. Now I stand in a balanced field, where all parts are fully sealed, not closed but fully revealed in the truth that I now wield. Synchronization stays through the nights and the days. Every step I now raise strengthens this in countless ways. Now I stand in a balanced field, where our parts are fully sealed, not closed but fully revealed in the truth that I now wield. I feel the grid inside alive. Every layer, every line, not separate but in a slide. With a portrait so defined, this integrity grid I hold now begins to fully unfold. Not partial, not uncontrolled, but the system clear and bold.
I used to see time as a cage, page after page after page. Now I step off that stage as I rewrite the age. This illusion starts to fall when I stop the mental call that tries to shape it all into something small. Now I see a wider frame where time ain't the same. Not a line I can claim, but a feel without name. This collapse ain't destruction, it's clarity construction through awareness production of truth beyond reduction. Every false grid fades away when I choose not to stay in the patterns that betray what is real every day. Now I move without the weight of a fixed timeline state. Every moment I create is aligned, not late. This illusion breaks apart through the mind and through the heart. Every piece plays its part as I reset from the start. Now I stand beyond the line of past and future time. In a way I can't deny that the now is where I lie. This collapse brings me back from the endless mental track into truth I don't lack. In the present I unpack. Now I feel the freedom rise as I open in the eyes. Every falsehood slowly dies. In the truth I realize this time illusion fades as awareness upgrades. Every step I now make breaks the false matrix shape. Now I walk in something true where all timelines are in view, and the path I move through is the one I choose to do. This collapse becomes my base, not something I replace, but a truth I now embrace in this timeless space. I can see it was never holding me. Now I live in clarity beyond false reality. Time breaks down, I am free. All moments exist in me. Now I live eternally in the now I choose to be. In the now I choose to be.
I feel the grid ignite with light, not sudden but just right. Every layer burning bright, in a calm and steady sight. This ignition spreads within, through the layers under skin. Every disc begins to spin, in alignment from within. This light grid holds the code of the path I now unfold. Not heavy, not a load, but a truth I now uphold. Every note begins to shine, through the structure so divine. In a pattern that aligns with the inner spine. Now I feel the system glow, through the field I come to know. Every moment starts to show what the deeper layers grow. This ignition fuels the flow, not a rush but steady go. Through dimensions high and low, in the truth I undergo.
I remember feeling dim, like the light was never in. Now I see it's always been just waiting to begin. This grid responds to me, not in urgency, but in calm stability. Now I stand and glow and feel where the deeper truths are revealed. Every distortion starts to yield to the light. Now will this ignition stays alive in the way that I ride, fully present. I thrive in the truth that arrives.
Now I'm moving steady flame, not ego, not a name, but a field that stays the same through the shifts of the game. This CDT light I trust, not in ego, not in lust, but in presence that is a must. As illusion turns to dust, now I stand and shine and flow where the deeper currents go, and the
truth I come to know is the light I undergo.
It's the light, let it shine. Every layer now aligned. Through the structure so defined, I reclaim what once was mine. Light the grid and feel the glow. Through the field I come to know. Every truth begins to show. In the light I undergo. Let it shine.
I feel the worlds begin to blend, not separate at the end, but always meant to extend through the truth I comprehend. This merge ain't forced or fast, it's a release of the past where divisions couldn't last. Now I stand unsurpassed in awareness that unites all the days and all the nights. Every shadow, every light finds its place inside. Now I see one flowing stream through what I thought was a dream. Every layer in between now aligns as one scene. This harmonic merge is real, not illusion I conceal, but a deeper, truer feel of a unified deal. Every reality I knew now becomes a broader view, where the false splits fall through and the truth comes into view. Now I stand in merged space, where all layers interlace. Every moment I embrace in this unified place. This ain't losing what I am, it's expanding where I stand. In a truth that I command, through awareness, not demand. Now I move through every state, where the systems integrate. Every moment resonates with the truth that activates. This merge continues on, even when I feel withdrawn. Still the unity is drawn as I stand on what I'm on. Now I live in something wide, where all realities collide. Not in chaos but unified, in the truth I coincide. This harmonic merge I hold, not as something uncontrolled, but a truth that will unfold as awareness grows bold. Now I stand in unified sight, where everything feels right. Every day and every night I live in merged life. Now are mine. Through the field so divine I cross every line. field where all lines meet, every direction beneath my feet. Not lost, not incomplete, but aligned in a perfect sea. This vector field now fully clear, no distortion drawing near. Every path I hold sincere, in the truth I now reveal. The tri-vector balance stays, through the nights and through the days. Every step I now raise moves in aligned ways. No confusion in the flow, every direction starts to show where I'm meant to go. Through the truth I know, this master alignment holds. Through the patterns that unfold, every story once told now becomes control. Not controlled by force or might, but aligned in a light where each vector feels right, in the day and in the night. Now I move without delay, in a clear and guided way. Every moment I display truth that will not sway. This field responds to me through pure geometry of identity and expanded clarity. Every movement is precise, not random, not by dice, but aligned through inner vice of truth beyond advice. Now I stand in full command of the vectors I understand. Every shift I now expand through the truth I demand. From within, not outside, where illusions used to hide. Now I stand in unified vector flow I can't divide. This mastery remains through the losses and the gains. Every shift that sustains strengthens what remains. Now I walk in guided light where everything feels right. Every day and every night I align through inner sight. Vector field fully aligned, every path now redefined. Through the truth I always find, I leave confusion behind. Vector field guide my way, every step I take today flows in truth I now display. I will never drift away.
I feel the shield no longer fade, not something built and unmade. It remains as a constant grade of awareness I've displayed. This permanence ain't a wall, it's a field that holds it all. Every rise and every fall still responds to the call of alignment, calm and true in everything I do. This shield remains in view as a structure I grew into, not something I wear, but something always there in the field I share. Everywhere, now I stand protected clear, not by fear, but by truth I hold near. Every moment, every year, this permanence grows strong as I move along in the truth I belong. Through the right and wrong, this shield responds to me. Through stability
trust. Not in ego, not in lust, but in presence that is a must. As illusion turns to dust, now I stand in steady space, where no distortion interlace. Every moment I embrace this permanent field of grace. She'll stay strong, never fades, through the light and through the shades. Every step my sister makes holds the line, never breaks. She'll stay strong, always here, built through truth, not through fear. Now I walk in crystal clear, feel that hold so dear. She'll stay strong, never fades, through the light and through the shades. Every step my sister makes holds the line, never breaks. She'll stay strong, always here, built through truth, not through fear. Now I walk in crystal clear, feel that hold so dear. Feel that hold so dear.
I no longer chase the time or try to stand in line. Now I see the full design as something that is mine. This mastery ain't control, it's awareness of the whole. Every fragment of the soul now returns into the role of a unified state where I create without delay or fate in a field that resonates. Now I feel all timelines here, not far, not near, but always clear when I hold no fear. This mastery lets me move without needing to prove. Every shift I improve to the path I choose. Now I stand in praise and flow, where all moments go, and the truth I know is the now I show. This matrix responds to me through clarity of identity in unity. Now I move through every phase without maze, in endless ways. Through the truth I raise, this mastery holds me strong through right and wrong, where I belong in the eternal song. Now I live beyond the frame of the time-bound game. Everything's the same in the truth I claim. This state remains alive in the way I thrive. Fully present I arrive in the truth I derive. Now I stand in total view, where all is true, and what I do aligns me through. This mastery I hold, not bought or sold, but something bold that I unfold. Now I live in timeless grace, beyond all space, in the place I embrace, I embrace. I can see all timelines inside of me. Now I live in clarity through eternal unity. Master time, I align. Every moment now is mine through the field so divine. Oh, I transcend the life. Now I live beyond the clearing. Yeah. Now I live beyond the clearing. Oh, oh, oh. feel a tone so deep inside, not something I can hide. It calls me back to the side where truth and self collide. This recall ain't memory, it's identity in pure clarity of what I'm meant to be. Now I feel the source again, where all begins and never ends, through what transcends every harmonic leads me back to the track I never lacked, but lost in fact. Now I stand in original tone, fully grown, not alone, but in the known. This recall brings me home through the unknown. Now it's shown as my own. This source remains in the gains and the pains, beyond all chains. Now I move with deeper truth in my youth, not uncouth, but in the proof of what I feel is real. Beyond the deal of what I see. Now I stand in source of flow, where I know all I sow is what I grow. This recall stays alive in the way I arrive, fully thrive in what I derive. Now I walk in original light, day and night, everything's right. In this sight, this source recall I trust, not in lust, but in must of truth, not dust. Now I stand as what I am, not a plan, but I stand in source command. Through the truth I now discern, every lesson that I learn feeds the flame that will burn. Back to source I recall, I was never lost at all. Now I stand, I won't fall in the truth that holds it all. In the truth that holds it
Sometimes we are ready for this one. I feel the field become one, not many, not undone, but a line like a sun that shines on everyone. This crystal estate is clear, every layer now near, nothing left to fear as the truth appears. This unity ain't forced, it's sourced in a deeper course of inner force. Now I stand in total field, where all is healed and revealed in what I wield. This crystal's flow remains through the gains and the pains in all domains. Now I move in unity, through identity and clarity of infinity. This field connects it all, every rise and fall, every call in the all. Now I live in unified space where I face every place with grace. This crystal of flow I hold, not bored of soul but bold as it unfolds. Now I stand in full light, day and night, everything's right in the sight. This unity stays true in all I do, through and through in every view. Now I walk in unified flame, beyond name, beyond game, always the same. This field remains alive as I thrive, fully arrived in what I derive. Now I stand as one with the sun
wonder what I thought the end, but now I see it bends into something that extends beyond where it pretends. Hey. This ascension ain't a rise through the skies or the skies and outer lies. It's a return within where I begin again and again, through what's always been. Now I feel the full alignment of refinement in assignment of my environment. The state is calm and wide, not to ride but inside, where truths collide and unify as one, not undone but begun in the sun of awareness that remains through the gains and the pains beyond all change. Now I stand in final sight where all is right, day and night in endless light. This ascension is a state, not a gate, but innate in what I create. Now I live in what is true through and through, in all I do, in every view. This completion isn't done, it's begun as the one I become. Now I walk in endless flow where I know all I show is what I grow. This final state I hold, not bought or sold, but bold. As it unfolds, now I stand in eternal flame, beyond name, beyond game, always the same. This ascension stays alive as I thrive, fully arrive in what I derive. Now I am what I've become, all in one, nothing undone. It's already won. Ascend, now I am free. Everything returns to me. Now I live eternally in the truth of unity. Ascend, now final state. Everything I integrate. In this now I activate. Truth I can't invalidate.